where are we with this stuff? If we had to compare from 97 to now 2022, where would you say we're in 2000, we're in 2001, we're in 91? What would you say we are with, the metaverse, NFTs, or just crypto in general?
We are legitimately still at the beginning. We are like at 98, 99 still. I don't think we haven't hit 2000.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-52439. Yep. 205-964-52439. You know.
Hello, guys. This is Ty, aka the Flip Man, and today is a very special day because it's going into one of my strong interests that I think everyone that's watching this, if you haven't already, you need to start to pay attention into cryptocurrency and all what comes with the blockchain and so on. All that may be Greek to you, but I have an expert here today, my man King Bless from the Gengltemen of Crypto. He and Isaiah Jackson have a just unbelievable daily show where they educate anyone that wants to watch about crypto, just currency and, as I said, the blockchain. So enough of me yapping. What's going on, King?
Not much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Ty.
No problem at all, man. I've been wanting to get one of these guys, if not both of them, on my channel. Because they know what they're talking about. I consume a lot of their content, and I appreciate them putting it out there. So we have a special opportunity to dive right into it. So if you'll just give us a little background about yourself, King, and we'll build up from there. It's about just trying to educate people on cryptocurrency, blockchain, and so on.
Sounds good. And yeah, next time we'll make sure Bitcoin Zay's in here. We can get us the 2-for-1 special for sure. But yeah, so I started my crypto journey in 2016. Long story short, I was on my second deployment. I used to be in the Navy. I did PR for the Navy, essentially. Bitcoin Isaiah, I know from college. In 2016, at the beginning, he put up this post on Facebook. He's like, I'm done telling people about Bitcoin. Like, nobody's listening to me. It's over. So I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, like you've been to Bitcoin. I've been wanting to learn about Bitcoin like the last 2 years, but I was deployed on and off for 3 years. So I didn't trust using my government computer to look up some of the stuff about it. Because, that was all the dark, shadowy back in 2014, 2015. So in 2016, we get on the phone, I'm deployed, and I tell him, I say, hey, I have all these ideas for the traditional market that we could do in the crypto space. He's like, I've been waiting for people to join with me in the crypto space. So we partnered up in 2016. Bitcoin is about $400, like $390 or whatever at the time. I know, right? Listen, I didn't buy enough myself. And initially, we actually started consulting. We were consulting high net worth individuals, as well as the retail market as well. But it got to the point where we both were on the phone like 15 hours a day individually. It's like 30 hours total. So we said, what's the way we can respond to everyone's questions? A lot of questions were the same. Everybody was reacting to headlines. And that's when we started the show, The Gengltemen of Crypto, in 2017. The reason being is because a few things. First, the literature of this, like in 2017, we really grew it in the industry. Before that, there was not a lot of literature in the cryptocurrency space. Like just regular, I can read this and understand it. No, it was technical literature. There was only like 2 other YouTubers. Chris Dunn is an OG, and a couple other smaller channels. But there weren't any YouTubes. There weren't any Twitters. There's anonymous people on Twitter. But there just wasn't this amount of information at your fingertips. So I feel confident at that time through our consulting. I was like, hey, let's be the ones to get out there on YouTube and at least talk about these headlines every day, because that's what's really shaking and scaring the market. We started doing that in 2017. And of course, from that, we've been mentioned in Times this past year. Zay was just in, what was it? We were mentioned in the New York Times, but he was in Times Magazine last week, CNBC, Fox Business, all that good stuff from just talking crypto and trying to provide people with the best information possible on a daily basis.
Boom. All right. So let's take this from an elementary level. Like my mom, who's 80, is watching this. What is cryptocurrency and why is it important? Well, let's just start with what is it?
Right. So there's Bitcoin and then there's cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency are all the other altcoins. Of course, Bitcoin is the real decentralized one that we do believe will be a reserve currency in the future and a global currency. in general, cryptocurrency is essentially digital money. It's just digital money, essentially. The blockchain, when you talk about blockchains, they're databases, which is why when usually companies and governments, when they mention blockchain, they don't say Bitcoin blockchain because no one owns that one. That one's decentralized. They'll say words like blockchain because those are other smaller altcoins, cryptocurrencies that they may be able to control the entire chain. All it is turns into a database. So all cryptocurrency is just digital value, digital money, and it's being stored on blockchains, which are databases, which is why cryptocurrency is cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is Bitcoin, because on the Bitcoin network, no one owns that, right? Anyone can download the network. It's open source. No one owns it, whereas some of the other altcoins and cryptocurrencies out there, anyone can kind of get control of the network.
Just a brief history on when it actually, I guess, formed or became an actual digital currency. If you could just give them a little backstory on the
Right. So
founder or whatever.
The white paper, Satoshi Nakamoto, no one knows who they are. As an anonymous person, they essentially created the project. They made what's called a white paper. It was a 9-page paper with the 9th page being references. But the first 8 pages were just saying, hey, this is digital money where we don't need a third party to make transactions. Now, this is a huge thing because throughout the history, we usually, especially as a recent modern history, we needed that third party. You need a bank or you need a government agency to say, hey, the money you're getting from here in this bank is real and is being delivered to this bank and is real. That's why wires take so long, or checks and all this other stuff. Each bank has to ensure that they're getting their money. Whereas with Bitcoin specifically, it gets rid of that third party. That third party is now an algorithm. It's digital. We don't need the government to tell us how we do our money. We don't need a bank to do it. A protocol does it for us, and it's trusted because it is an algorithmic code, and everyone can see that technology when they download it. It's free for everyone to download. You can go to websites, Blockchain Explorer. You can see every transaction happening, and that's what gives it its power.
Boom. Okay, so man, just so many questions.
And really quick, I kind of didn't always answer too. So Bitcoin, the white paper was created in 2008, right after the financial crisis here in the US, of course, the housing crisis, as well as some things that were going on overseas in regards to Brexit, the European Union. So when Bitcoin was created, it was created to solve those problems. They're like, hey, you don't want governments to bail out banks and car companies with your taxpaying money. This is the way around it. January 3rd of 2009 is when the project actually was launched, though. So right now, Bitcoin is what, like 13 years old, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 13, almost 13 years old. So,
Okay. All right. So, all right. Let's start with a basic question here. We're just using Bitcoin because you got so many other coins. We'll get to that in a minute. But as far as Bitcoin, what are the pros and cons if you just got money sitting in a bank or something, or that you're investing, once a week or whatever? Why is Bitcoin a better option?
Well, Bitcoin is a better option, and we're seeing that from the likes of people like Michael Saylor, who owns MicroStrategy. Of course, they've been buying up thousands of Bitcoin this year. Elon Musk has been buying up thousands of Bitcoin and using Bitcoin. But essentially, Bitcoin is powerful as a reserve currency because it beats inflation. And remember all those stories? I remember back in my day, a hamburger was a nickel. Money hasn't changed. Inflation has. And we're seeing it right now. During the pandemic, how much money did we print out? PPP loans, all this other stuff. We always use Bitcoin as a perfect example. We say, there will always be 120 million Bitcoin when it's all said and done or whatever. What if that number would have magically increased by 3 or 4? And we say, actually it's going to be 2 billion. Would the price be the same today? No, it wouldn't. But that's what's happening with the American dollar. We keep printing money and they're telling you that everything's still priced the same, but it's not. You're seeing the gas prices go up. You're seeing the milk prices. We ran out of wings this year, didn't we? Like, that is inflation. So Bitcoin as a savings account in of itself will save you from losing your money. The dollar has lost like almost 98% of its value since its inception. And it's going to continue to go down. So we're off of fiat currency, which is dollars, euros, all that paper money. That's considered fiat currency. That's already a thing of the past. Right now, it's just about the transition over to digital. They're trying to go to outer space. They're trying to do all this other stuff. You're not going to outer space with gold or cash. It will be digital. Everything will be digital. So that's the move everyone's beginning to make now.
Okay. All right. So just to put it into some simple numbers for someone that, we have their attention. Say you had, we'll just say $1,000 in the bank, in a checking account or a savings account or a money market, whatever you want. And the date of this video, we're at the end of 2021. We'll just say January 1st, 2022. What would probably be the deal? I know you can only speculate. You don't know. We'll be having a different conversation. But if they had $1,000 they were having in the bank as of January 1st, 2022, December 2022, 31st, what would probably what's like a historical difference? Let me just say, we can just only go by the history, the historical difference over the last 10, 12 years.
So here's the good news and bad news. First, and I want to make sure I correct something too, because I just threw a number out there thinking that there will only ever be 21 million. I think I might say, I don't know. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. And right now there's about 18.6 that have already essentially been mined, and some of that's been lost. But as far as the price point, next year will actually be a difficult year. This year was a little bit easier to tell. I predicted the all-time high of this, or the high of this year would be 75K. So far, of everybody I've heard, I am the closest in the entire industry market, point blank, period. I said that earlier this year on the Dr. Boyce Watkins show. I said in a few other places, I said 75K. Other people saying 100, 300, 400. So I would say first and foremost, I'm pretty close on that. And I say that for my prediction for next year. Next year or two could possibly be chop, where you see the price go sideways, if not actually dip into a possible bear market where you could lose money on the 365-day calendar. Now, that is not a big deal. And the reason why that is because every 4 years, Bitcoin goes through a halving process. Remember, there's 21 million Bitcoin. Every 10 minutes, you can mine some Bitcoin. It used to be, I remember in 2016, I think it was like 12.5, then it switched to 6.5, which is, I believe, is at now. In 2024, in the next halving, it's going to go down to 3.25. In 2028, it'll be down to 1 point, whatever that is, how much Bitcoin you can mine every 10 minutes. So usually that's where we're starting to see the pumps. When the halving process occurs in 2016, it was a halving process. And then 2020 was the last, every 4 years. And from 2016, the prices to 2017, and then the prices of 2020 and 2021 show you the strength of that halving process and how people pay attention. Now, luckily, Bitcoin's so much in the news now, and there's so many organizations getting behind it. There may be enough to sustain it for the next 2 years before the next halving. But what we've seen happen is usually the halving occurs, the market goes parabolic, 2016, 2017, 2020, 2021, and then 2018 and 2022, which I'm guaranteeing we'll see, regulators will come in and try to destroy everything that's been built the last couple of years. They're going to be like, how are you all making all this money? We're not getting our cut. NFTs illegal. DeFi illegal. GameFi, we have a tax on it. That is going to happen, I think, next year. Now, it will be to the magnitude when that happens and how the market reacts to see the price point on them. But so I say all that to say within the year calendar, especially next year, you might actually see some chop or possibly it go down to a bear market. But looking at a 3-year cycle, a 3 to 5 year cycle, almost, I think everyone has always been in the green off those 3 to 5 year cycles from when they bought in that. So I would say look at it more than a year. But even if you were just to look at it for a year, start training your mind to look at things in terms of Bitcoin. Not how much dollars I have left saved in my account, but how much Bitcoin. Because you remember, even if you put $1,000 in the Bitcoin as a savings account and the price dips down or whatever, that's not the price of Bitcoin dipping. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. That's the price of the dollar that's going up and down. So that's just something to consider.
Okay. All right. So, and I guess we need to explain that too, because I don't know what the price is as the data.
Like 47,000 a day.
Yeah, 47 something. Yeah. So that doesn't mean you have to buy 1 Bitcoin. You have to have $47,000.
No.
If you could explain that to them, we sort of brushed over that. We're assuming people just know this. So
I'm glad you brought that up because that is what normally scares people out of Bitcoin. Like, oh, I'm not about to buy 47. So you can buy Bitcoin for one is divisible up to 100 of a million. So with Bitcoin and different cryptocurrencies, we'll be able to do things like with Netflix and Spotify. Instead of paying a monthly rate, you can actually pay what you stream. So throughout the entire month, you stream less than a penny, then you could actually pay less than a penny with crypto. Now, it's difficult to buy less than a penny because who's going to say, how can you someone accept that? But by and large, you can buy $1 of Bitcoin. I know for a fact you can do it on Cash App. I've done it many times. If I have change left after transactions, I buy $1 here, $1.75, $2.50 here, $3 here. And literally after doing that after a whole year, it's like, oh, I got like $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 in my in Bitcoin that has not only grown because the value's grown, but also I've just been dollar cost averaging into it. So you only need $1 to buy Bitcoin, folks.
Boom. Okay. So we cleared that up. All right. So now, so someone that may be sold and they'll start to they'll do their own research beyond this conversation. So how do you obtain Bitcoin first? And then we'll get into, the security and how to hold it or whatever.
So Bitcoin was created to be peer-to-peer, which means, hey, if you want some Bitcoin, you could say, hey, King, I got $5,000 or I got $1. Can you sell me some of your Bitcoin? And I say, yeah, sure. Here you go. That's the way it was intended. That is what it's made for. However, in the United States and other countries, the government is essentially making it illegal for you to do that. There's no reason for it to be illegal, except they literally just woke up on a Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and was like, let's make it illegal. Because what they want to do is say, no, only banks can do that. Only exchanges that we can monitor can do that. Not you retail investors, not you mom and pops. You're not allowed to do this type of stuff. You're operating as a bank and you need a broker license. But essentially, that is the easiest way. It's peer-to-peer. If you want to do that, I've already mentioned Cash App is a good option. Edge Wallet, EDGE, is a good option. Gemini is a really good option. Those are the Winklevoss twins who helped create Facebook. Those are some of my top 3 right there. I would stay away from Coinbase. I would stay away from Bittrex. We've had a lot of issues with those in the past, especially Coinbase. They usually restrict accounts after a certain amount. But a good start, again, is Edge Wallet, Gemini, and Cash App. Those are some pretty good ones to start with.
Oh, so I need all of mine is pretty much in Coinbase. I need to move.
Yeah, so essentially, if you get too much Bitcoin, watch what's going to happen. Coinbase is going to be like, hey, you got 24 hours to move it or whatever, or it's gone.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I know this for a fact. It's happened to me like 3 different times.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I need to, I need to make that happen ASAP. Okay. All right. So now you mentioned some of the websites that you can purchase. So what's the next step out of that? Because when we talk about wallets, people may not understand what a digital wallet is and why it's important.
Right. So there's 2 types of wallets. There's a hot wallet, technically 3 warm, but essentially it's a hot wallet and cold wallet. A hot wallet is connected to the internet. So those are your exchanges, the mobile ones on your phone, anything that can have any internet connectivity to. Now, if they're only connected, sometimes people call it warm wallets, but essentially a warm wallet, even if it has that internet connectivity, it could turn to a hot wallet. A cold wallet is one that's all the way offline, right? I can't even think of the name right now. The storage devices like treasures and ledgers, those are your cold wallets, or even a paper. You can actually do a paper QR code and put your Bitcoin on it. A little square piece of paper, have millions of dollars on it. Those are all examples of cold wallets. So once you buy your Bitcoin, say on Cash App, on Edge, or Gemini, you don't want to keep, or Coinbase, whatever, you don't want to keep it there because the exchange owns that, right? Like you don't own that, the exchange has. We have this saying, not your keys, not your cheese, where if you don't have the private keys to your Bitcoin, and there's something called a private key and a public key. The public key is like your phone number. You can give it to anyone, and that's how you accept Bitcoin. A private key is like your social security number. That is the one you need to unlock the actual cryptocurrency or Bitcoin that's in your wallet. So for those on exchanges, like Coinbase, for example, they have the private key. You don't have it. So if they were to ever be like, you know what, we're just not going to give anyone their Bitcoin back or crypto, they could do that. Maybe not legally, but they could actually do it. So what you want to do after purchasing these assets is to transfer them to offline storage. Transfer them to a Trezor wallet, Trezor. That's one of the oldies but goodies, or a Ledger, Ledger. Both of those are pretty good as well. And there's more wallets starting to come to the market as we speak.
And when you say the offline, you mean like what do you call it, the stick? It's actual a hard device that you have to make sure you know where it is.
Right. The only way that thing will, I won't say the only, the best chance for that device to get hacked is if someone physically gets it rather than it being connected online. Now, there are some newer upgrades like ledgers that can go back and forth online and off. Those are the ones that are considered warm wallets. But normally people, especially as they get more serious in this space and have more crypto assets, they may have 2. They may have the one cold hardware wallet. That was the name. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. Hardware wallet. They might have a cold hardware wallet like Trezor or Ledger, where they never connect online. They only transfer things to it, keeping it in the safe. That's what I do. Or they may have a second Ledger or Trezor where I'm okay with this one going online every now and then just to make these big transactions to my wallet. But that's essentially how it works.
Okay. All right. So we've talked about crypto and Bitcoin. Let's get into the metaverse. And people probably have been hearing a lot about that through Facebook changing their, I guess, mother name to Meta. And what does it all of that mean? And, when we were conversating through email, you somewhat joked about, we talked about some of this digital real estate or whatever. So if we could get into what that is and why that's important.
So for anyone who ever seen Ready Player One, is essentially a movie where the people live in this digital world majority of the time, with the exception of leaving to go eat and use the bathroom, basically. That's the metaverse. The metaverse is like, you remember the old computer game, The Sims? Mm-hmm. It's a more built up version of The Sims. And now they're trying to implement technology as well. So, the Oculus with Meta or Facebook, they get the VR stuff. They're all also trying to implement all this so you actually feel like you're immersed in this space. But right now, as it stands, the metaverse is just a digital world. The main ones are like Sandbox, you got Decentraland, Crypto Voxels. But on any of these metaverses, you can go inside, like The Sims. Think of the Sims game. You have your Sims avatar. You can build it up, make it look how you want. And you can go inside the Sims, except you have freedom to do whatever you want. You can go. I've actually been to art museums, art galleries in the metaverse where I can walk up and there's real art there. There are NFTs there or regular digital art that you can purchase in the metaverse. I've been to a music studio. I went to go watch a speech there. So essentially, companies are now saying, especially as we get more digitized with NFTs and all this other stuff, if the metaverse becomes a real thing, and the way it will become a real thing is when people can make as much money from this digital land and use it in the real world. The moment you can have, obtain real world value from a digital space, that is when it will become the real deal. And that's what we're seeing now. So people and businesses, Adidas and Nike just joined the metaverse last week. There's buildings being built. As we joke, real estate in the metaverse is actually better than real land real estate at the moment, as far as a return on investment, only because as these things gain in popularity, Decentraland is a perfect example. It used to cost $300 to $500 to buy a plot of digital land where you could build whatever digital thing you want. You could build a castle, and hey, we're doing pool parties for your avatar in my castle. Or for us, it's like, no, we're doing our YouTube show in the metaverse, but you all want to come check us out, and you can talk to all the different avatars. The moment we start doing that type of stuff, and again, we're bringing the same value, real world value, we're extracting it out of the metaverse, people will begin to stay in the metaverse 24/7. The only time they're going to leave is to use the bathroom or to eat food. Now, I do think we're a little further off than what people think as far as really being immersed in it. But from an investment point of view, I think we're right on target. Again, companies are building in the metaverse. The land is going at a premium now. Every day is going up in value. And it seems to be something, as we saw, multi-billion-dollar companies like Facebook, now Meta, have decided to really go into full speed.
So, which I'm gonna tie it into go to NFTs, but just to springboard over to NFTs. I'll get you to explain that first. So, I'm sure a lot of people, and if you're not, you will in the future hear about NFTs. If you could explain what they are and how those have become, a little risky, but really could be a really good investment vehicle.
Yeah, so NFT, all that is essentially a digital asset that represents like real world things. So it can represent, as I say, Adidas and Nike, real world shoes. Song artists are now becoming popular with it. So where there's paintings as NFTs, music CDs, books. I think Bitcoin Zay is doing his book as an NFT. So essentially, all an NFT is a non-fungible token. It just digitizes your piece of value, wherever that is. It digitizes it. Now, the reason why they're so popular is because, say, for a musician, if you create an NFT as a musician or artist, and you sell your song and it gets sold again, and it gets sold again, and it gets sold 20 times more after that, you'll always receive a percentage, a cut of that payment because you were the creator of that NFT. So that's a good thing about it. You no longer need, for musicians, you don't need a music company to say, this is how we're going to pay you. And this is all. You can release your music as a CD or a digital playlist, and you can have still control and get paid off of that NFT that you release. So that's the powerful part about it.
Okay, so like just using a musician as an example, in which I know some of them, it just depends on how popular they are in the community or the following that they have. They can just release the music. They don't have to have anything additional added to it. But with some NFTs, from my understanding, like you may add something additional to it to give it even more value than the actual, we'll just say in this example, the music. It may be a meet and greet to 1,000 people that have purchased the NFT of that particular that project. If you could just explain how they attach different, I guess, benefits to outside of just the actual music itself, or using that as an example.
Yeah, no problem. Two quick examples. Tory Lanez is one. He just released his music as an NFT. Though people were like, he picked his worst songs for it. I guess he probably was seeing it as an experiment. But essentially, he released this NFT CD or whatever, this music playlist as an NFT. A couple things happened. First, we actually had some crypto warriors. I think at the time he dropped, it was like $1. Like you said, most people who are doing NFTs right now, they already have big followings. So it just makes sense for them just to get this quick COVID bag of money, right? But he dropped his NFT. They were $1. And some of our crypto warriors who watch us actually bought a lot of those NFTs up. They're like, hey, I bought 10 or 15 or however much it costs. They're like, I'm planning on waiting until he becomes even more popular, or these songs that weren't released on a normal track, as far as like on Spotify or Apple, they're waiting for that to increase in value so they can resell those back. And again, he will still get paid on those NFTs off the resale. Now, with that launch, like you said, they usually come with things. I think for his, it was like a meet and greet at a concert, or maybe it's a discount on concert tickets. I know Bitcoin Zay is doing his book as an NFT. And I think he's planning to have a meeting in the MetaVerse after his launch as part of that. So as you said, it's usually the NFT itself, which is the valuable thing. And then as a kicker, it's usually, hey, we'll be launching this in the MetaVerse. We love you can meet there, so that you get your avatar and you meet them in the MetaVerse. Or as I said, backstage passes here or pictures here to go with the NFT. So those are some of the ways they couple projects with it.
Okay. And I've been trying to see, and I'm sure someone's, if not, they're already doing it, but have you seen anyone do something with real estate as far as an NFT with some type of creativity, with purchase of a house, some land or something, in the real world, not the metaverse, of course. Have you seen anyone do anything creative in that aspect?
So I personally have not to say it's not happening. I believe Super World is another metaverse where that's their thing. They're actually trying to say, no, we have a map of the real world, and you can buy real world land as this NFT. Now, the only thing, I don't think that's going to transfer over well, just off the top, because of the rules, regulations in different countries, borders, all this stuff that goes on in the real world. It's a little bit too different. It possibly could work for public things or very large companies. So let's say, again, if it's a Nike store and they try to represent it in the metaverse, that's possible. But by and large, I don't think that's going to be the popular thing that kind of catches on. I think the metaverse is going to become its own world, their own worlds that they already have been built. And right now looks to be a race to buy up as much land in these worlds as you can, in this short time right now.
Okay. All right. All right, man, we've covered a lot, man. So with most of the stuff that we covered, man, what should be the main thing someone should take from this particular conversation or interview that we're having right now?
I would say it's kind of what you start off of behind the scenes where you're talking, like, buy Bitcoin first, right? Get a hold of Bitcoin, whether it's $1 a week or $5 a week, $100, $1,000 a week, like dollar cost average into it, so you don't feel the pain of trying to buy a $47,000 asset. And then as you start doing that, you'll learn more about the space. You get bit. We were talking about that. You get bit by the Bitcoin bug. You'll start doing more deeper dives in your own due diligence into all these other projects, and you'll find the next best thing for you. But initially, we told everyone to stick with Bitcoin, learn about Bitcoin, and from there, you will learn about the entire market. Because here's the kicker, people, 99% of these projects should not be here. They could go away tomorrow and the market wouldn't change for Bitcoin, essentially, as far as its utility and value. Because a lot of these other projects, literally, you could just say, why can't Bitcoin do this? And usually Bitcoin can do it, but the issue is human beings won't be able to control it. And again, going back to the beginning, they want to be able to control these blockchains because they're very valuable. Bitcoin, you can do a payment and there's no third party. But if you bring that third party back into it, now we can charge fees. Hey, maybe you can't get your payment. Maybe you can. Maybe we'll sanction you. We'll do X, Y, and Z. So that's why they want to have control of those blockchains. But again, my first thing is to buy Bitcoin learn about Bitcoin, and everything else will come to you naturally.
Okay, who would you say? Which I think I know the answer. What would be we know I guess the way to look at this, Bitcoin is .com basically, and we're
The
going
internet of money, exactly.
Yeah. If we compare it to the internet, most people know .com if they don't know anything else about the internet, right? As far as a www, website name or domain name. So who would be second? Who would be .net?
Ethereum is .net for sure.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. That's what I was thinking. All right. So Ethereum is basically the way a lot of the transactions with NFTs are conducted, correct?
Yes, but they're having competition too. Solana just launched NFTs.
Yeah.
It's a ton of people starting to compete with them as well. Ethereum, what it has best going for it is its team. And not just its foundation team, but like the corporate people who are behind it too. Because you remember, these people wanted Bitcoin. Back in 2017, they actually tried to fork Bitcoin off as like a corporate fork. It did not work out. The consensus won. Everybody was like, no, we're not doing that. It was like a secret meeting in the hotel room in New York. It's all types of shady stuff. That didn't work. A couple of things happened. First, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, all these people tried to make these other Bitcoins convince you they were the real Bitcoin. And then the second half of the group were like, all right, we lost this one. Ethereum, we'll take that. And that's essentially what's been happening. And that's where I put my faith more in Ethereum than anything else. Not the project itself, not the code, none of that. It's the fact that there's so many corporate people behind it trying to control it. They're like, we can't let this one, like we can't miss this one. We just missed Bitcoin. They don't want to miss this one too. So Ethereum, sure.
Okay, so what would you say if we had to compare, maybe not Bitcoin, maybe the rest of it, the MetaVerse, Ethereum, NFTs, if we're about to go into 2022 as far as the internet being in existence. Now it's been in existence for a lot of years, but to the masses, we'll say, what you'll say, maybe 94, 95, maybe to the masses.
I got my first computer in 97, and I remember I was the first person in my house with one. Like it was crazy.
Yeah. So where are we with this stuff? Like if we had to compare from 97 till now 2022, where would you say we're in 2000? We're in 2001. We're in 91. What would you say we are with the MetaVerse, NFTs, or just crypto in general?
We are legitimately still at the beginning. We are like at 98, 99 still. I don't think we haven't hit 2000 because we've had these smaller bubbles, was really just like a healthy corrections for the most part, or things that have happened where it's like exchanges have been hacked and scaring everyone away. But there still hasn't been like, outside of Bitcoin, there still hasn't been like a killer altcoin. There hasn't been a Google yet. There hasn't been the Facebook yet, the Twitter yet. Wow. So we are still super early to the point. I mean, for one, Bitcoin's only, again, it's 13 years old. It's a baby. Or I don't want to say that baby is a teenager. Like the rest of these are like 5, 4, 3, 6. They haven't even hit the 10-year mark. So a lot of them won't make it to the 10-year mark actually too. Yeah. Or if they do, the price point will not be the same. Bitcoin will severely outpace it to the point you will ask yourself, why am I in this altcoin project? But by and large, we haven't even hit the bubble. Once we hit the bubble, I think we'll all know, because what's going to happen is like at least half the market's going to disappear. It's going to be one of those things where like, Bitcoin works. If it is Ethereum or Solana or whatever else, these work. This works. What are all y'all over here doing now? That's what it's really going to turn into. So I don't think we're 98. We are 98, 99.
Okay, boom. All right. So if people wanted to check you guys out, man, go ahead and please provide all of your platforms that they can reach you on, and I'll have the edit here to put it on the screen also.
Yeah, no problem. The best way to reach us is on the Gengltemen of Crypto YouTube. So just go to YouTube, the Gengltemen of Crypto. Check us out there. Again, we are usually live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. And if you want a further education on crypto, we did launch a masterclass this summer. It has been doing very well. I'm super proud of it. Long story short, we kept getting the same questions often and time again. So finally, it was like, how we started the show. How can we answer all these questions at one time? It was like, let's do a masterclass. Like we started looking around. There weren't any good masterclasses that cover everything. Our masterclass is 14 modules, 12 hours. We go over NFTs, MetaVerse, how to start your own Bitcoin pay server, how to do a collateralized loan with crypto. That's right. You don't need a third party or a credit company. You could use your Ethereum, create a loan and take out 80% of that money on it and pay it back when you want, essentially. We teach you everything top to bottom. So again, check us out on YouTube, the Gentlemen of Crypto, or on our website, thegentlemenofcrypto.com, where you can see that masterclass as well.
All right, boom. Man, King, I really, really appreciate you, man, sharing your knowledge with us. Hopefully we can do more of this. I guess we'll discuss it or whatever. And because I really want to this to be a part of my platform for my own personal financial literacy. But, definitely the people that, follow what, I have to say or whatever, because I think it's so important that you get on this train now and don't be one of them. Dang, because I actually learned about Bitcoin back in like 2012. And
I know it hurt. You're like, oh, I ain't doing this no more.
and didn't do anything until this year, So that's anyway. But yeah, man, we really appreciate anything you want to add before we get out of here.
Hey, as always, thanks for having me. Like I said, it's still early, folks. Do not look at the dollar price point. We keep printing dollars, so the price is going to keep pumping. So don't look at the price point. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. And yeah, next time we come back, we'll definitely have Bitcoin Zay here too, so we both can give you a little 1-2 combo.
All right, I really appreciate it, man. So guys, do your research, do your homework, follow my man and Bitcoin Zay. And as I always like to say, we'll see you guys on the flip side.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. Now you know. 205-964-5243. Now you know.